Okay, so now we want to talk a little bit of strategy. Wherever you're feeding cats is where you want to set your traps, if possible. But, you know, when a trap like lands in the middle of a feeding station, it's going to be a little off-putting to some cats. So what you can do in the meantime to get them used to the trap, or when you're not trapping on days that we can't take cats, is you can get the trap set and use it as a feeding station. This is a really, really good prevent technique. It also enables you never to feed outside of the trap, because if you train a cat that, let's say you're trapping on a Sunday night and you keep the food in there till 7:30, you know, the time that we take cats, and then at 8 o'clock you pull the food out and put it outside, that cat's going to get wise to you really fast. So you never want to feed the cat outside of the trap. This will enable you to control the cat better and have it not, like, you know, pull one off on you. So what you want to do is use your trap as a feeding station. How I suggest you do this, and you can use any trap, and if you want to get this done, you know, like at home before you even have a trap, use a carrier or something that's kind of closed that mimics a trap so that you can get a cat used to eating into something. Okay, what you'll do is you'll just lift your doors open, and you already know how to do this, and then you're just going to use a bungee cord or something to firmly hold the door open. Okay, bungee cord, or I like to use one of these little zip ties. These zip ties are invaluable for this purpose, and all you have to do is zip it open where it's held open firmly, and it can't close under any circumstance because you probably won't be watching this trap during this period of time, and you don't want it to close on a cat accidentally and have an animal in the trap for longer than you can control. So make sure if you're going to be holding a trap open that it's held open firmly and it can't close under any circumstances. Then what you'll do is you'll just use your normal food, whatever you're feeding cats. If you're feeding hard food, just use hard food, and just put it outside the trap for a day or so. The next day, get it closer and inch it in a little bit every day, so it gradually is getting toward the back until you're feeding the cats all the way in the back of the trap. Okay? Once you're feeding the cats in the back of the trap for days, let's say the day that comes that you do want to trap, well then you simply take out the food, put the real stinky stuff in the back, remove the zip tie, and let the trap close on the cat, and you're going to have them very, very surprised, and you'll get every cat you want that way. So now you know how to get a cat in a trap. You've set it, you've had it out for a few days, they get used to going in and out of it, you get the cats trapped and they come to us. Let's say now that you've gotten every cat you can, let's say you've got 9 out of 10 of them and there's just one that is not going in the trap, or 2 that aren't. Okay, here's what you do when you've trapped every cat except for a select few. What you'll want to do is make this trap work as a trap that you can control. There's nothing worse than trying to catch some trap-weary tomcat and be rebaiting traps and having all the cats you've trapped come in and out, setting it off and scaring the heck out of them. You'll know who's trapped and who you fixed already because we do a left ear tip on all our cats. We surgically cut the left ear flat when we're doing the spay or neuter surgery so that you can see from a distance that those cats are fixed. So you can see when you're looking out at your colony of cats who's fixed and who's not, even if they're all black tabbies, even if they're all the same looking cat. So what you'll do is, instead of using a plate with just like one helping of cat food, get a heaping helping of cat food, good stinky cat food. Put that in the back. And then what you'll do is you'll lift your door open, and instead of setting it up to close like normal, like you normally would, instead of doing that, don't do it that way. Just rest the door on a pop bottle, okay? Pop bottle or water bottle with something around the neck, like a string or cord. Try not to use anything too thin, because if a cat ingests string, yarn, thread, or like fishing line of any kind, it can get caught in its intestine. You can have like a really, really sick cat and a really, really expensive vet bill. So always use something that a cat can't chew and ingest. And get far away, go, you know, have enough string or twine or whatever, and get, you know, as far as you need to go. If you have to have binoculars on the other end, fine. And let them all come in and out and eat. So you'll have all the cats you've already trapped coming in and eating, and there's enough food for when they leave, somebody else can come in, and then just wait. Because when the other cats see all these cats coming in and out, and he says, well, they're not getting trapped, I'm going to try it, he's going to go in there, and you're going to take your string from far away, and voila, you'll have your cat. It's like the greatest trick in the book. So now you've trapped that hard to get cat, and you can like be happy that you've done your colony to 100%, because 100% is the goal. So I know that this might seem a little bit weird or off-putting. I mean, you've never trapped a wild animal before, and now I'm asking you to do it and transport them in your car and bring them to me. But I promise you it's all going to pay off in the end. Just want to give you some words of advice and some things you really need to know. Number one, always when you trap a cat, cover it as soon as you can and keep it covered until I uncover it, just so that it's not stressed out. You never want to trap more than the day that you're going to bring me the cat. So if I'm taking cats on a Sunday, Monday, or Tuesday, you want to trap that day, not the night before if you can help it. Overnight trapping leads to cats being in traps for longer than they really should be. You get raccoons, possums, and maybe an unfortunate skunk or two, and that's never good. And it's just more stressful for you and the cat. So try to trap early in the day and trap all day up until the night that we take cats and then bring us the cat that evening. If for some reason your cats only come late at night, start bringing food out earlier and picking it up before you go to bed. Try to get them on an earlier schedule. And finally, if you can, stop feeding after dark or before you go to bed altogether, because all you're doing is feeding wildlife, which is nice if you want to feed the wildlife, but we don't really want the wildlife to be dependent on your feeding. Plus, it's expensive for you. The reason we do have to feed cats is they're not part of the natural ecosystem. They do rely on us. They can hunt and they will hunt, but it'd be better if we can feed them. So if you don't want to feed raccoons and possums who eat a lot, pick up your food after dark. Some other things to remember: never put a can in a trap, only put things on something that's unbreakable, something shallow like a paper plate. So something else to think about: if you're going to be trapping cats on, let's say, Monday, and you feed Monday morning and Monday evening, don't feed Monday morning, or feed very little, or start trapping in the trap on Monday morning. But just try not to feed a cat too much, because the food is what's going to get the cat into the trap. The trap's not going to lure the cat in on its own. Food is going to be everything. So you might have to use tough love, and you might have to only feed in the trap. If you have kind neighbors who are also feeding the cats, make sure you talk to them and tell them, hey, I'm trapping cats, I'm going to help these cats, this is what we're doing. They can look at Carol's Ferals on their website and on their internet. If you have kind neighbors who are feeding the cats, and it's not just you, make sure that they know that you're going to be trapping on a certain day and not to feed the cats, because cats aren't going to just go into the trap on their own. All of our traps are marked with a little note here that explains what this trap is being used for, so that somebody knows that you're there to help the cats and they're using it for humane purposes. You're not just going to take the cat and have it killed. It's very important that anybody know that if you take a feral cat, meaning a wild cat, to a shelter or a humane society, it's very likely going to be killed immediately or very soon after it's been held. Feral cats, there's no room in a sheltering program for feral cats. They cannot be rehomed. Their chances once they get into a shelter are nothing for survival. So you never want to take a feral cat to a shelter. You want to bring a feral cat in to us or a T.N.R. program in your area that can trap, neuter, and return the cat, and it can go back outside and live its life not producing.